Hi, it's Rain. Today I'm answering the questions that you guys asked me on the Q&A. So fun. The first question was, when was I diagnosed? So in the last video I said the ages that I was diagnosed, but not the years. So ADHD I was diagnosed with in 2016, late 2016, early 2017, just as I started year 7. And then autism I was diagnosed with in 2022, just as I started year 13. But the weird thing is, when I looked back on my ADHD report before they, what's the word? Not like dismissed me, but I was an outpatient and I was about to like not have outpatient care anymore. Not discharge, but I don't know the word. I saw the report and it said, has always struggled with communication. And we're like, But yeah, it took 5 years of persuasion for them to actually even consider an autism diagnosis. But because some of my siblings have it, we thought that I might have it as well. So it took a long time, and then once we convinced them, it took 10 months from start to finish before I even got the diagnosis of autism. And then when they diagnosed me, they're like, "Oh, it's a grey area. Sometimes you aren't, and sometimes you are." And I'm like, "No, I think I always am." Yeah. And then the next question is a really good one: is, are there any fictional characters or real people that have helped me feel seen in my experiences? I've written them all down in my little book so I can remember. Yeah, there's an actor called LMA Purvis. She plays Bonnie in A Kind of Spark season 2 and Patience in Patience on Channel 4. She has both ADHD and autism, and the way that her character Bonnie in A Kind of Spark is represented, yeah, is, I feel like when I first watched that, I felt really seen in both of the conditions. It's not something I've seen on TV before, like ADHD and autism being represented at the same time. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. But yeah, I felt the way it was presented was similar to how I sort of experienced it, like the impulse of just wanting to use the money and not worrying about it later, or just going somewhere because. Yeah, but then there's the autism side of me, which is like planning and doesn't like that sort of thing. And then the next question is, what is people's most common misconception about my autism and ADHD? I'd say a common misconception about my autism is that people assume I don't have it because of the way I present myself. So they think, oh, I can't have autism because I'll give you good eye contact, or because they don't sort of see the struggles that I have. They really question if I'm disabled, which I think is, it's a really bad misconception to have. Is like, most people associate autism with people who are like higher support needs, so like they're non-speaking and stuff. They don't really. I think it's getting better now, but a lot of the time when you say autism, people don't think of people like me, which is like fine, but it's something that definitely does need changing. And then a misconception about my ADHD, I would say, is that my hyperactivity, is that because I don't outwardly present hyper all of the time, people sort of are like, oh, how do you struggle with that then? Like, it's a misconception that you have to be hyper all of the time if you have ADHD, but mine is more inward now. It was outward when I was younger, but it's not anymore. Like, I'll be lying in bed trying to fall asleep and my brain will be thinking of all of the stuff I did whilst there's a song playing in the background. Like, yeah, and then sometimes I can just get randomly annoying because I'm hyper and in a mood to annoy someone. So, and then what is the social impact I face with autism? So, like, the social pressures I find. I guess there's a social pressure to sort of like make eye contact. Don't have to reply in a certain way. But like with the small talk, oh, I hate small talk. Hate small talk. It's so useless. But yeah, I feel like there's a social pressure to sort of not mask, but not like today. Someone offered to shake my hand, and I was like, I'm not shaking your hand. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because I don't want to. I feel like people don't sort of understand that, like, if I do something different because of my autism, they'll be like, oh, whoa. So I feel like in some situations, I just sort of do mask my autism a lot. And yeah, that was all of the questions that you guys wanted me to answer. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on, like, just talking to you guys about sort of some of my experiences with growing up in education with undiagnosed autism, and how being in secondary school, how it affected me and stuff. Yeah, and I'm gonna start doing like a day in a life sort of vlog sort of thing. So yeah, I have a lot of good ideas for videos coming soon. Dot dot dot. But yeah, I will link my socials in the description as always. Like, comment, subscribe if you want, no pressure. And I'll see you in the next one.